Good evening, denizens of the night, and welcome to Fangs After Dark. Tonight, I wanted to touch on a couple of new releases for Vampire the Masquerade that had been revealed by Renegade Game Studios recently in their reveal videos that they have posted up to YouTube and other sources. So stick with me and we'll talk about two specific Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition products that are going to be coming to us this year. So we'll start off with the smaller reveal that they had showcased in the video, and that is the Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Laws of the Night LARPing rulebook that they are going to be releasing later this year. There's going to be a hardcover version and a softcover version. They both look really nice, and they talked about how they're obviously going to be keeping the rock, paper, scissors system of the older LARP systems that have been used. They've streamlined a lot of rules since LARPs are a much larger game generally. You need to have more simple means of managing what's going on mechanically. So I can understand them streamlining, but they did say that they are keeping a lot more nuance with abilities and things like that, because they don't want, like, you know, if you have a game with 5 or 6 Toreador, you don't want them all having like the same kind of power. That would just be kind of boring if you're focusing on the disciplines and things like that. So they said it would be streamlined, but they are going to be keeping more variety and more nuance to it. So when that comes to print, I will be excited to pick up my own copy so I can peruse through it and see how it differs from the older versions, because my first foray into Vampire the Masquerade was actually a LARP that I played in Akron, Ohio, way back when, and I've done several LARPs since then, you know, in Lansing, Michigan, and things like that. So I will be excited to check that book out, kind of see how it compares, kind of bring a little bit of nostalgia to me, because I haven't done any LARPs since then, and that was many years ago. But I definitely would love to get back into LARP. I'm sure a lot of you are going to be heading towards the Darkness Emergent in Chicago, and funny enough, that is a drivable distance away from me, but unfortunately life has dictated that I won't be able to attend that, even though I was planning to. But either way, I look forward to getting into some LARPing at some point soon. So I am pretty excited for the Laws of the Night book that is coming out. And the other Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition RPG reveal that they had showcased was the Gehenna War Source book that is going to be coming in late August 2024. Now, this book is going to be a real juicy one, I think, for all of the fans out there, because it's going to be covering a topic of the Vampire the Masquerade meta that have left a lot of players scratching their heads as to what exactly is going on with it. And as the title of the book suggests, it's going to be covering the Gehenna War and what is happening. It's going to be discussing and showcasing like how the factions are interacting with this event. I'm assuming they're going to be covering all the factions: Camarilla, Anarch, Sabbat, and I do hope that they have some coverage of the Ashira, because there isn't a whole lot of in-depth information about the Ashira so far, and since the Gehenna War itself is taking place in the Middle East, I would assume that the Ashira are going to be a big topic of discussion within this book. I'm assuming the Sabbat will also get a more detailed spotlight in this book due to the fractionated disposition they have taken in Modern Knights in the meta because of the Gehenna War. And something that I am particularly very interested about is if they bring a little bit more detail about the beckoning. Now, originally, the beckoning was left extremely ambiguous and vague because they didn't want to have something so concrete. They wanted to leave that bit of meat for the storyteller to kind of develop in their own games, because obviously not every storyteller might want the beckoning to be a thing. The beckoning was kind of like a tool to ease on the whole elder power situation. So they didn't do too many details about that. And the Gentleman Gamer, I think, had made a video discussing this further as to like the design philosophy behind the beckoning, what they were going for. But I am extremely curious as to see what they detail about the beckoning in the Gehenna War. Are they just going to talk about a little bit more details on, what it is? The description and the things that they talked about the Gehenna War book mentioned like blood gods using you as pawns. So is the beckoning like meta tied to these ancient, monstrosity kindred Canaanites that are using their ancient powers to pull elders of the blood, any kindred that is so strong in the blood connected to their clan that they're being pulled to be used as pawns in this war? Maybe the Sabbat got it right, and there are some ancient vampires that need to be taken out, and these ancient vampires are now pulling unsuspecting elders and their other vampires to fight for them, So it'll be interesting to see what they detail, whether it's going to be more, more nuanced, or are they going to go in more depth of what the beckoning is, or are they just going to keep leaving it vague, maybe adding a couple things here and there. But the scope of the book actually mentions that they are going to have more, I don't say rules, mechanics, ideas, concepts in regards to running a chronicle that is more action-based. They are using this book as sort of like, if you want to run a action movie style vampire game, then you're going to want to get the Gehenna War book. That is what they had mentioned in the showcase video. That is what is mentioned in the Gehenna War book description on the Renegade Studios website, where you can pre-order it. And it says that they will detail things like car chases, duels, infiltrations, things like that. More action-oriented things for your Vampire the Masquerade game. And I know that might be in contention with a lot of individuals, because there are a lot of Vampire the Masquerade fans who feel that Vampire the Masquerade shouldn't become like a super action-oriented style game. That I've heard a lot of contention on like older systems where it became just kind of like superheroes with fangs because of how the system was. But at the same time, people will run and play games that they want to play. Having an action-oriented vampire game isn't necessarily a bad thing. That is up to the table and up to the storyteller, and if they have fun with that, then they can do that. And I think it's great that they're bringing out a book that kind of helps develop and mold and bring ideas and concepts to the table to make it easier for the ST to run a chronicle that is more action-oriented. So I'm definitely going to be getting this book. I'm pretty excited to see what kind of new, fresh lore they're going to be bringing up. I'll be excited to see what new lore sheets they might have. I am partial to the older, powerful vampire thing. I like elders. I like the ancient lore of Vampire the Masquerade, the mythos of it. I know V5 is kind of designed for the newer, younger vampire, street-level horror, personal horror kind of thing, which is great. But this book is something that I think will be useful in these games if you want to take it a step further down the jihad, I guess you could say. And one other thing that I think would be amazing is if they have some more, sourcing for elders, since the Gehenna War is tied directly to ancient vampires. It's tied directly to elders, Methuselahs, things like that. Are they going to have some details on that? Are they going to bring us some mechanics on what we can do for elders? Are they going to add abilities that maybe some elders might have, or something, So that's something to look forward to potentially. It didn't say anything about that in the overview of the book, but who knows what they might sneak in there. So at the end of the day, I'm looking forward to these releases. I'll be getting both Laws of the Night and Gehenna War. They both sound really awesome. They sound like they're going to be a perfect fit for my table. So hopefully when the book comes out and you guys get it, you'll be able to read it and it'll fit for your table too. So if you like this video, like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen with these books. Are you excited for it? Are you looking forward to getting these books? What do you think might be in these books? And I will see you guys in the next video. And remember, nothing good ever happens after dark.